Alright, what's up YouTube? Here with another video. And this is another Ntilikina video. And what made me decide to make this video was simply because that, you know, some people in the comments they're going back and forth on how they feel about Frank, and you know, some people just think he's a complete, you know, he's not a good basketball player, and you know, I beg to differ. You know, he just haven't necessarily gotten the huge chance he deserves to showcase his skills. And what I mean by that is offensively, I should say, because defensively you see what he brings to the table. And you know, he's a guy that he understands role. Like, so he plays his role. He brings the ball up, he passes it, he runs to the corner, let the guys do dribble, hand off, they shoot, things they was doing. So you know, you had Tim Hardaway Jr. on the team. You had Trey Burke, and you have a plethora of other people. So he had to take a step back. You know what I'm saying? And some of those guys, they was, they trying to get this is their last shot in the NBA. You know, like Trey Burke, and then you have Emmanuel Mudiay, who's trying to resurrect his career. So, you know, Frank has a guaranteed contract, I think, for like maybe a couple more seasons. So it's like, you know, and he's much younger than these guys. They're trying to, you know, reestablish himself and prove something. And with Frank, it was like, you know, he didn't necessarily know how to play, like in terms of how to be aggressive when to pick his spots. That's why he played with he played too much thinking the game instead of being instinctive. And you look at him now, he's finally, like, you can see he's finally maturing, growing into himself. You know, it's just a maturation process that took some time. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at you look at these workout videos that it should be playing as I'm talking. The workout video should be playing, and if you look at years previous, when you see him working out prior, you know, from the last couple of seasons, you see how his ball handling, he didn't have the necessary control. He didn't have the speed and everything. And the stuff he was doing, it didn't really look like, how did that translate? How is that going to translate into the game? And you know, you see him working on stuff, it didn't look proper. I wouldn't say it looked proper, but he's dribbling the ball, but it don't look something that it blows you out. Like, wow, he really looked like he's improving with coordination, dribbling ability, exploding, getting to a spot, raising up and shooting a jump shot. It didn't look like he had this all, you know, it wasn't cohesive with each other. And you look at the stuff he's doing this year, you see the huge dramatic improvement. Even when you look at his overall body, last year, you know, you look at him, he looked like he kind of had a gut a little bit, and you know, his arms didn't have the toneness. But if you look at him now, you look at his physique, he looked much more like, he looked more compact, strong, and he looked more, you know, he looked more lean. You understand what I'm saying? He looks more lean and compact, stronger, and it looked like he grew. You know, when you watch it, it looked like his body is starting to develop the way it's supposed to develop. That's why I told people to give him time. Because the biggest problem with him was, you know, he may have skills, and he has the passing skill, you can catch and shoot, and fundamentally sound, yes he is, but he lacked explosiveness, he lacked, you know, he probably wasn't necessarily used to the NBA speed of the game. And I remember when they sat him on the summer league his first year, he was like this, like watching, and it looked like the speed was like, you know, okay, the speed is different of the game, but you can see he has the skills, you know what I'm saying? Yes, he doesn't have the, you know, he could take off and dunk and bang it on you and jump and ooh and all the crowd. But in terms of being a fundamentally sound, a good component, a piece to the team, he's relatively perfect. People necessarily didn't understand this. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't watch basketball. They look at the stat sheet, look at highlights. They don't watch the game and see the game within the game. What is he doing? How is he hitting the guy? How is he dribbling the ball up? The guy come off the scroll. How does he bounce past the ball to the guy? So the ball's right in his shooting pocket. So he catches the ball, he has to raise up. And that he just stand there and clogs the area. He moves aside, gives the guy room to operate. And the problem with Frank was, you know, if he did play pick and roll, teams go under his shooting ability. That's what it was. Like, he's shooting these long twos, these long threes, and of course that's why his field goal percentage wasn't up. He wasn't getting into the lane, and the reason being because he didn't have necessarily the explosiveness, the fitness. And if you understand, he comes from Europe. A lot of these European players, they don't come over here and snap of a finger. They're explosive, anaerobically, they're conditioned. You watch Tony Parker, it took Tony Parker some time. You know what I'm saying? To get fit and, you know, to get acclimated to play. He even questioned his purpose in the league. It took Boris Diaw a couple of seasons. You know what I'm saying? It took him about 2 seasons. You know what I'm saying, to get right in the NBA. It took him about 2 seasons when he went to, I think he played 2 years in Atlanta. Then he went to Phoenix, and his game flourished. You seen his skill set. And he came in the NBA at 19. Frank came at 18. So he was, about a year older than Frank when he finally took off. You know what I'm saying? And it takes some of them guys a year longer. It took, Nicholas Batum some years. He was a guy that just played defense and shot the three, and then he had a couple of good seasons back to back in Portland. That's what ended up landing him in Charlotte. He went to Charlotte. And he had a big contract extension because he had one good year there. But ever since then he hasn't played good. But he had injuries. But it takes these guys some time because the speed of the game is different. And Frank didn't look anaerobically fit. If you look at him, he wasn't anaerobically fit like these guys. That could be, I wouldn't say problematic, but it was a situation that it didn't enable him to propel himself. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's why, so he set the screen, or someone set the screen, he dribbles 1-2 dribble, in and out crosser, he gets in the lane, he wasn't explosive enough to get to the basket. So guys are just backing off of him, and they let him take these long twos, these threes, or they go underneath the screen taking these threes or these long jump shots. That's why his field goal percentage is lower, because he's not getting in the lane. He's not getting, Tony Parker at least could get in the lane. So if Frank could just figure out, okay, when they go underneath the screen, can I move into the shot, keep my arm in, keep my elbow in, extend it up, and extend it like a shot, and follow through, use these two fingers to go down. When you shoot the ball, when you shoot it, it has to go down. He has to work on that and knocking his shot down with more confidence. And it seemed like he's doing that this season. If you look at the videos, you clearly see the stuff I had posted. As I'm posting, you see his body had changed. So hopefully he gets, he gets stronger, more athletic, more explosive. You know what I'm saying? He built more fluidity, and he even looks stiff. Even, you know what I'm saying? So he has to work on all that, his body mechanics, and his shooting mechanics, his feet position, and a lot of different things in terms of being an offensive scorer. And he has to work on being more explosive, getting into the paint. And we watched this French video he had. I was watching things he was doing. I was just like, that's not going to help him. You know what I'm saying? Get more explosive. He needs to, he needs to work. Maybe he is doing some sprint work and things like that. He needs to do stuff like that. So when a big comes to the screen, 1-2 dribble, in and out, he explode. He had the basket, floated in the lane. That's going to make him deadly. So then guys are not going to, they're going to be, how do we guard him? Do we play him too close, or we back him off him? And if he could just get the 1-2 dribble, get to a spot, set his feet, keep his arm in and shoot the jump shot because his arm is in, you know what I'm saying, he's aligned, then it makes him more formidable. Especially if he, he's setting guys up. He knows basic pick and roll schemes. The 1-4, the 1-5 pick and roll, he understands this. When guys come off the curl, he understands to hit them. Because when guys come off the curl, you don't throw the ball, you don't pass it to them, you bounce pass it. So in the pocket, yeah, you can throw it, but you have to simply throw it lightly. Because if you go too hard, it may hit them. You understand what I'm saying? So he understands how to do these things. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? He's a wonderful basketball player. He's a wonderful basketball player. You know what I mean? And it's just a setting that I have to still defend the guy so much. I was getting so many comments, a lot of love, but he's still getting some hateful comments, and I just wanted to defend this guy because I feel he's a great basketball player, and I can see the improvement of how he is. His ball handling, the speed, the control, it has improved. His shooting form looks more strict. He follows through everything. How he keeps his arm, everything looks better. How he gets his arm up, it all looks better. His body looks better. You know what I'm saying? I give the guy a chance now. Now is he gonna get a chance this season? Who knows? Because they drafted Alfred Payton, they had Dennis Smith Jr., they signed Reggie Bullock, and it's like, I'm just sitting down shaking my head, and then you have guys like Julius Randle who needs the ball. You know what I'm saying? You got Kevin Knox who needs the ball. You got Andre Barrett who needs the ball. You got Alonzo Trias. So will Frank really get an opportunity to show what he has worked on, or how is he gonna play? How is he gonna be utilized in the system? Is he gonna be utilized like if he's a starting point guard? Is he starting and his job is to set? RJ is on this side and Kevin Knox is on this side, and they're doing, they're running off of screens or running off of back screens, and is he getting them the ball in the right spot? Is he feeding the elbow and then running to the opposite corner and then standing there, and then they're doing a dribble handoff with him in the opposite corner? He's coming off the dribble handoff, raising up and shooting or attacking. How is he going to be using his offense? You understand what I'm saying? That's the thing that I'm curious about. You know what I'm saying? Are they going to make him a simple pick and roll play that gets into the paint, and then he just shoot floaters, layups at the rim, and if they go under, he shoot jump shots, or he simply makes the bounce pass or he throws the ball over the top? Is that going to be his game? And then he's a lockdown defender that plays defense, and if you rotate off another player off of him and you rotate to somebody else, do you pass him the ball and he catches, shoots the three? Is this going to be his game? So you have to see what it is. You know what I'm saying? How they're going to utilize him. And I think he's ready for it all. You know what I'm saying? I think he realized what kind of player he could be. And if he could be a player that can simply help facilitate the offense, guard multiple 3 to possibly even 4 positions, and playing the team to go small ball 4, and if he can, he's able to help facilitate the offense, pick and roll, play defense, catch and shoot. Then the Knicks is perfect. Like he would be perfect. He would be perfect on any team. You know what I'm saying? That's similar thing what Andre Iguodala can do. You know what I'm saying? That's why he works so well on courts for Stephen Curry, because you can play him as the 1, and he's dribbling the ball. Steph is coming on screens. He can hit him. Bounce pass, throw it slightly in front of him, Steph catch it. You know what I'm saying? And if Iggy moves, you rotate off of Iggy and double Steph. You throw it back to Iggy. He can either get to the basket, get into the lane, make plays for other people, or for himself, or he can shoot the 3 if it's there. Because now he understands IQ. He understands how the defense is reacting. So you read and react to, you know what I'm saying? You read and react to defense. So now that's what made Iggy such a key valuable piece of that Golden State team. You know what I'm saying? That's why IQ, the guy was the Finals MVP. So I'm like, if Frank Ntilikina can have a game towards similar to what he is, then the Knicks need to keep him. You know what I'm saying? Because that showcases he's a really valuable player, because he has a multitude of skills. So then you can put him on any spot on the floor. You can play him at the 1, 2, and the 3. Now it's what you put with him. So how do you develop Kevin Knox? How are you developing R.J. Barrett? Are you making these guys isolation players and you just stand and watch, or are you making them basketball players that have a multitude of skills? Like R.J. can play pick and roll. He can post up smaller guards, because he would be a guard who have size. He's 6'7", 6'8", if I have size. Can he catch and shoot like a Klay Thompson? Can he get to the basket and create his own shot? And can he post up? Then that makes the offense, it makes them more formidable. How are they going to develop him? How are they going to develop Kevin Knox? Is he going to be a guy that can catch and shoot? Are you going to isolate him? Or are you going to have him post up small forwards? Because he's probably about 6'10" now, and hopefully he put on some size. He's 220, he's 230. Then he could post some smaller forwards who are 6'8", 6'7", and now it's all about positioning you put him in. So how is this offense is gonna work? And people say the triangle offense don't work, and people don't understand the game of basketball. If you say the triangle offense don't work, then you're essentially saying a motion offense don't work, or what the Spurs run don't work, what Golden State run doesn't work. Now you may be confused about this, but when you have when you're on the basketball court, you have the free throw line. And then you have the elbow on the left and you have the elbow on the right. You have the guard on the top that's initiating the offense. You throw the ball to either the right elbow or the left. Now if he's here and there's a guy here and there's a guy here, that forms a triangle. It's a triangle. So now you have options, you have sets and things you can run within this. You know what I'm saying? You can throw the ball at, you see him go like this, right elbow, he throws the ball to the right elbow. So either he runs down the middle. So if you're playing with it, so if you look at Tim Duncan, Tony Parker would do this to me. Throw to Tim Duncan, he's at the elbow, Tony Parker runs right he dives right through the free throw line between the two elbows. He runs down the middle, so he's in front of the rim. So if he's in front of the rim, he's running towards the front of the rim. You have a guy here and a guy here that still forms a triangle. And then the shooters, who would be Michael Finley and Bruce Bowen or Ginobili, one is in this corner, one is in that corner. Now you may say, what does that have to do? Well, that's also a triangle because Tony Parker's in the middle of the floor. So he's in the middle, and then you go like that to Ginobili, that's in this corner, back to Tim Duncan at the elbow, back to Tony Parker, that makes a triangle. And the same with this, it still makes a triangle. As well as Tony Parker, it constantly forms triangles. People don't necessarily understand this. So within this, you have options, because if he dives low, you throw him the pass, then he's at the rim, that's a layup. Because he may beat the guy back, it's a give and go. So the guys from either corner has to rotate. So if they rotate, then he catches the ball, he can't finish, he throw it out to the shooter. So it's up to the shooter to either he decides read and react. So this is all for one play. Then you have options where you throw the ball to the post, and the guy that throws the ball from the post from the top. So there's a guy here, he throws the ball to the post, he runs to the corner. Now he sets the screen. This is a curl. So the guy in the corner, his job is to come off that screen hard, he runs, he curls. Now you can run a dribble, hand off, you pass the ball, you can shoot the ball. That's very important. Klay Thompson will be perfect. That's some stuff Kyle Korver used to do, or Mike Bibby when he played with Chris Webber when he played in Sacramento. This is motion offense. So the guy runs off of it. So he comes off of the screen, he throws the ball to him. Now it's read and react. So now if he beats his man The forward that's at the elbow, he has to rotate to him. So either this person that passing the ball, if you dribble him, he could roll to the rim. You throw him the ball, that's a layup. They have to rotate. This is the strong side because there's 3 guys on this side. They got to rotate from the weak side. So he may have a layup, he may get fouled in one, or he throw it to the opposite corner of who they rotated off of. That leads to wide open shots. So when people say the triangle don't work, yes it does. And Frank was perfect for this due to the simple fact you don't necessarily need a quintessential point guard. Now he is because he's a big guard, so he could guard multiple positions. I said people understand the importance of them. They don't understand the game of basketball. So he playing the offense like this, he will flourish due to the simple fact because you can post him up. That's the thing he's not even doing this year. It was a game where he posted Trae Young. He took Trae Young down there, and it's all day. Now if he's 6'8" now, let's say he grew to 6'8", and you playing him at point guard, shooting guard, he can abuse these people because of his size, because of his wingspan. So now how you utilizing his offense, and this is how you even change pick and roll coverage. Because if you could be in the corner and you throw the ball at the elbow, the guy at the corner got on the top of the key. So he throw it to him, he dive low. There's nothing there. He run to this corner. This guard run to that corner. Run to the angle. The center here throws the ball to the guard or whoever the forward is in the corner. He runs there. He sets his pick and roll. Sets the pick and roll. He dives to the rim. You throw it over the top. This stuff Spurs ran all the time. Who the hell said the triangle don't work and it's outdated? The thing is this. You have to understand positioning. Derrick Rose didn't fit in that because Derrick Rose is like, I don't throw the ball into the post and run to the corner. He's like, that's not my game. But it's so many things. It's so many things within it. You see what I'm saying? It's so many things within it, and guys don't want to. They don't want to take the time to play in that. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan played his best ball in that. Kobe Bryant played his best ball in that. Even when LeBron played in Miami, they ran the triangle in Miami. People don't get it. When he was at one elbow and Bosh was at the other, and they had Chalmers in the middle, and then he would throw the ball to Bosh, and then Bosh would come, and then they would have. You know what I'm saying? He would throw the ball to Bosh. He would set the screen. Or LeBron would set the screen for Wade, and then Wade would come off the curl, and Bosh would either throw it to him. They so worried about Wade. LeBron's man would rotate the Wade, but Wade man didn't rotate LeBron. Bosh could just throw the ball low to LeBron. He get a layup. Or if you cut him off, now he gets the ball. He's in the post position. He pins the guy. One dribble, this him. Push out in the lane. That's why he was so phenomenal in Miami. That's why he shot such a high field goal percentage. And that's why he was so great defensively. Due to the fact he had to waste energy to score. That's why he was so high efficient. That's why, you have to play in the system. Frank needs to play in the system. He's not these guys, okay, you give him the ball, move out the way. That's not his game. That's more of a Kyrie Irving, a Kevin Durant, a Jamal Crawford. These guys, they built for that. That isolation, they're built for that. And this is the basketball people have become accustomed to in the last couple of seasons. And if that's not Frank plays system structured basketball. He didn't grow up in New York City playing playground basketball. He didn't grow up in Philly, in Jersey, and places like that, in Baltimore. He didn't play street basketball, so he don't have that in his game. Like he not built for that. That's not his game. He don't play like a Paul George. Give me the ball, move out the way, let me isolate, dance on you. He comes from system basketball, and if you put him in a system where he's utilizing skill set, then he's gonna flourish. And then I already see Knicks fans like, oh, they gave up on him too early. Of course y'all did. He's only 20. He's gonna be 21 years old this month, and he's not even a finished product. You know what I'm saying? Like he still have time to improve. You know what I'm saying? So I sit back and look at it like I see people don't understand the game of basketball whatsoever. I know the game of basketball. There was one gentleman, and he was a cool dude, though. I don't know his name, but he was talking about he played D1 ball. That's phenomenal. I used to play basketball, New York. I used to play with street basketball legends that used to play with pros in the NBA, and I used to play with them in the park, and I was better than these dudes that was playing with pros. I used to bust their ass in basketball. You know what I'm saying? And when I would sit down and talk to the game with them, they understood I knew the game. So it's a plethora of things, and you know what I'm saying? People like, well, Frank's not a point guard. You're right, he's a basketball player. Stephen Curry's not he's not a point guard, he's a basketball player. And people are like, what do you mean by that? They're positionless. That's the evolution of the game. The evolution of the game was positionless basketball. Golden State implemented that all entirely. Because they had a bunch of basketball players who would do a plethora, an amalgamation worth of things they could do on the court. You have one guy who can, Iguodala, he can bring the ball up, he can pass, he can defend, he can shoot. Not a great shooter, but he can shoot enough. Draymond can pass, can shoot when he can't shoot. He can even post up a little bit. Him and Iggy can, but not depending on the matchup. They can handle the ball, they can facilitate, they can defend. So they have a multitude of positions. You can play them at point guard, you can play them at small forward, you can play them at power forward. You can play even Draymond at center. So they have a multitude of skills. Stephen Curry, you can play him at point, you can play him at shooting guard. He's playing point, he's playing pick and roll. He's playing shooting guard, he's running all around the screens. Klay Thompson, you can run front him off the screens. You can, you know what I'm saying, you can post him up depending on the matchup because he's 6'7", he has size for a shooting guard. So you have these 6'4", 6'5" guards on him, you put him in a post, he shoots over them. Such a great shooter, you give him the ball, he shoot over them. So he has, he has value because he don't need the ball to score. So he's positionless. You can put him anywhere on the court. You know what I'm saying? He could play the wing. He could play either wing position. So that's why, and adding Kevin Durant, just added more fuel. You added a 7 feet tall guy who can bring the ball up the court like a point guard. He can post up. He can shoot the ball in the post. He can catch and shoot. He can isolate. He can do everything. He can pass, rebound, defend. So this is why they were so dynamic and so dangerous. And they just need the biggest who can rebound, who can guard, pick and roll, and that can help them, with their offensive scheme, like this position, like move the ball, move the ball. They just needed people like that understand to help move the ball around. And that's why they were so formidable when they played Iggy, Steph, Klay, Draymond, and even when they had Harris and Barnes before they had Kevin Durant. They were so formidable because it was almost a positionless style basketball, and everybody was so interchangeable. That's why, and everyone could play defense really well except for Steph. But even Klay was a really good defender. He's an excellent 3-and-D guy that you could run all screens. Now you can even post up, so he's not just a shooting guard. You look at some shooting guards, they can't post up. Kyle Korver can't post up. He's a shooting guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, who else is a shooting guard? Contavious Caldwell-Pope is a shooting guard, can't post up. J.R. Smith is a shooting guard, he can't post up. So, that's basically a forward. Basically, forwards post up. So you have to have an amalgamation worth of skills. So that's the evolution of the game. And how are they going to utilize Frank? Is he going to be just a guy that is... I don't think his game is to run off curls and stuff. This guy needs to help catch the ball. He can bring the ball up, create his own shot, 1-2 dribble, floater, tear, drop in the lane, or a simple bounce pass, lob it over the top, or he explode to the basket. So that helps him out. Or he dribbles the ball, the guy comes off the curl, he bounce passes it, or slightly throws it lightly to the guy so he catches it in his shooting palms and shoots the ball. Or if he does that and they rotate to that guy about to shoot, Frank clears out. They clears out, then they throw him the ball. He may have a lane so he can drive, 1-2 lose dribble, shoot the floater, shoot the jump shot or floater, get in the lane, create a shot from some other person. And he plays defense, he can play the wing, or he can post with smaller people. So that gives him value because he can play 1, 2, and 3. He has multiple positions. And I understand people love Dennis Smith Jr. because he could jump and dunk and stuff, but he has to work on his shooting ability and playmaking skills. Because basically he's a shooting guard that's not tall enough. And this is why I said Frank would even work with him because you could play them together and have both of them slightly handle the ball. That would even work. Tria is more of a scorer. So he should be the guy off the bench scoring. And R.J. Barrett is, he may develop into a basketball player that has an amalgamation worth of skills. He can play the pick and roll, catch and shoot. You can run him off of curls. You can post him up. He may be this. He may be the best one on the team that develops all those different components in terms of playing the pick and roll, whether it's scoring, facilitating, running off the screens, catching and shooting, posting up smaller guards in isolation. He may be the best out of all the players on the team. You have to see. And me personally, I think Kevin Knox should try to pattern his game after people talking about Paul George or Kevin Durant. I think he should pattern his game more of Tobias Harris. Because Tobias Harris don't need the ball. He can bring the ball up, but he can post up, shoot over smaller guys, or he can catch and shoot. He had like the best catch and shoot percent. I think he had one of the best last year. He shot like 45-50%, like just off of just throwing the ball. He just catch and shoot threes, and guy was averaging damn near 20 points a game playing like that. So that's what he should pattern his game after, and he just an athletic version of that. Because Tobias Harris is not really athletic. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm looking at when I look at the game of basketball, and people necessarily don't understand. And this is what I'm trying to explain to people. Like, this is what the Knicks should, basically develop. Each, not every individual player, but how they should mold these guys. And people look at scoring and stats, and it doesn't work that way. Just because a guy's on this team, he averaged 30, and he come in, you have to sacrifice something because you're not getting the same opportunities, you're not getting the ball in the same spots you like to get it. They're running a slightly different system. And that's why guys don't like playing the triangle, because they like to play. Some guys love pick and roll basketball isolation. The triangle is about moving to certain areas, and when everything breaks down, then you isolate, or then you can run pick and roll. That's why isolation, pick and roll basketball do not work in the playoffs. Because if you play that way, I'm gonna zone you. I'm gonna put the 3-2 shifting zone on you, and it shuts all of that down. It leaves you on the perimeter, your perimeter base. You're not getting into the paint. And this is why system basketball is important. So if you play the triangle, you have a guy at the elbow here, a guy at the elbow there. You cannot play 3-2 zone against that, because once I throw the ball into the elbow, the high post, it diminishes the zone principles, because it's all about not allowing you to get into the paint, allowing you to get into the middle of the floor. And you have to get the ball in the middle of the floor. And that was LeBron James' weakness when he played in Miami. When that first year they lost to Dallas threw that zone on him. No one could get in the middle of the floor to post up. And then you have to get the ball in the middle of the floor. And that's what's going to destroy the zone. Or you have to get behind the zone. And there's so many things into that. I would like to make so many videos breaking down stuff I know about the game of basketball. I truly understand it. And thank you YouTube for watching this video. This video is quite long. It's about almost 26 minutes now. So, thank you guys for watching. If y'all stuck through this, man, I truly appreciate it, man. And thank you YouTube. And peace. I'm out.